Here we are again. What is this? Is this episode 3, 4? What are we? I don't even know what we're on now.
Maybe
That's
4, because we did have a
question.
pilot that we didn't release either.
Oh, yes, that's true.
The
It's
Lost
hard to keep up.
Lads.
We are the Lost Lads. There's so much that's been happening, and it's really hard to keep up between all the things that are happening in Terra, between what's happening with TDX and OC, and oh my goodness, where do we start, guys? Edwin, maybe you want to kick it off.
Yeah, well, first of all, we just finished a call with Prism, and it was cool just to get an AMA with them and get some updates. Their Prism farm is about to end, and so there's some interesting components there that maybe Rebel can dive a little bit deeper into that. But from my perspective, something new about Prism is the utility of P Luna. And so we had Jimmy on the One Planet Roundtable Twitter space yesterday, which was Tuesday, April 5th. And he essentially just dropped some alpha that they're always thinking about how to give utility to P Luna and Y Luna. And so for P Luna, you can use it in Edge protocol, right? But now you will also be able to mint a Prism NFT in which they have partnered with Galactic Punks to create that NFT. And it's going to be available for minting in One Planet. So that's going to be coming out soon, and you can pay with P Luna, right? So right now, the only way to pay for NFTs has been UST or Luna, but now One Planet is creating that ability to use P Luna, which is going to open up the ability to use other tokens to mint, right, to purchase and trade NFTs. But anyway, so that's the alpha that I thought was pretty cool from Jimmy from Prism, and yeah, I'm excited. So if you've been participating in the phases of the Prism farming or any phase of Prism, you're gonna be able to do that. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
That's amazing.
Like, I participated, and I'm sure many of us, in fact, participated in all 4 stages. Does that entitle us to like a special extra rare NFT, or do you just have to have participated in one stage? Doesn't matter what it is, you still get the NFT.
That's a good question. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I think their point was that you're going to be rewarded for participating, and on top of that, you're going to be able to use P Luna, right? So those were the 2 main things to take away. That if you've been refracting, right? If you just been participating and engaging with the platform, the Prism platform, then you're going to have the ability to mint an NFT. And we've seen, for example, like Astroport, I think, just airdropped an NFT to people that participated in their lock drop, right? And so I'm not sure if you guys knew that. I just found out about it earlier today. I haven't checked. I know I did do some lock drops, so I hope I got mine somehow. I gotta check. But anyway, so we've seen platforms that do that, projects that do that, but I think Prism is taking it a little bit further and actually creating utility around their token, right?
This is
and
good.
not just that, they were talking about like how the NFT might actually have some benefit on Prism, like extra amps boost or something, which I mean, I think that's awesome. Like NFTs having DeFi utility.
Yeah, it's achievements, right? Like, hey, you participated, well, here's your reward. And on top of that, you can also benefit if you continue to stake your Prism and use your X Prism for amps and all that stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like a participation NFT as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that Prism are already doing really well is they've created a little ecosystem there where you are rewarded the longer you're in it and the more you participate in it. And so that stifles that need or that desire for people to want to, take tokens, sell off, get out and just kind of make a quick buck. And I think if they have the same sort of thing happening with this introduction of NFTs, that's just that adds another element to what to their game. They've leveled up, and I think I'll definitely be getting involved. I didn't even know this. So this all happened. Would this all come out on the call that was about an hour ago?
I
That's
knew
when I
this.
first heard about it. But
Yeah, I knew this a
he's got
little
the
bit
alpha.
earlier, but they did talk about it during our Orbital Command AMA as well, and TerraSpaces will release that. Because Rebel, you forgot to press the record button again, man.
Well, I knew Finn was there, so like, you know, what do you mean me? What do you mean me? You
Okay.
started it, didn't you?
Yeah, but I
the
didn't.
host not have to press it?
No, you set it up when you set up the space, and
Yeah.
then you put the link. Like that's when you toggle the record button. So when
There's a
I
little
go
button
on,
that says
yeah,
record
I had to
space.
set up. I think, listen, I think it's because I've got such an old and tiny phone. Like, there's bits of the screen that I'm not seeing. Because I'm
But-
unable to edit a space. Once I've set it, I can't edit it because I can't.
Oh.
My screen doesn't show me the button to save the edit. It's really weird. Anyway, let's get back to the
It's such a
lads.
shame that you
Yes.
have to. So it doesn't suck that we have to do it on mobile phones. By the way, it's 2022. Twitter, what's going on? Why can't we do
That
these
is weird.
spaces on laptops?
Elon is coming in. He bought some Twitter, so
There's some
he's going
news.
he's gonna add the edit button to
So
tweets.
I saw that he was like,
Ooh.
I love the way he did it too. He's like edit button, and he's like on. Yes, spelled incorrectly somehow.
He spelled it incorrectly. Exactly.
He's just dropped. It was like 10. Was it 10 billion? No, it was over 3 or 4 billion for 10%. On a whim. What a G.
Oh yeah.
Imagine having that much cash.
Right? Oh well, he's worth 270 billion. So
Unbelievable, hey.
yes, he's on another level for sure. So this is, he bought 9% of Twitter, I believe, and so now he's on the board, so he's able to make some decisions.
Well, hopefully we're able to see Twitter make some good positive changes in the right direction. Gentlemen, Rebel, what are your thoughts and views? What's capturing your interest at the moment when it comes to all things Terra and Luna?
Uh-oh. Is he frozen?
Oh, is he frozen? We've lost him.
We've lost him.
He's very still anyway in general, so he might just be playing a game with us.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, we'll go with you, Doctor, while he comes back.
Sure, look, I'm happy to riff a little bit. Obviously, Luna, all-time highs. We've just had Luna, I think, top out the other day at about $119 or just shy of. That's amazing. Just what's surprised me about this was how quickly, like, everyone knows Luna's going to 1,000. Everyone knows that Luna's going to do what Luna's going to do. But consider that just a few weeks ago, like it was a month maybe, it was sitting in the mid 40s, and people were questioning, okay, is now a good time to buy? Is it going to go under 43? Is it going to go under support? And it's like all of a sudden it just zooms like the rocket it is, and now we're back at all-time highs. There he is. Rebel, you're back with us, mate.
He looks frozen. No, his network is red.
just like his background and his jacket.
Yes. Yeah. He's having some technical difficulties.
But we've got the all-time highs in our friend Luna Omics, who has a channel with us in the Discord server, the OC Terra Invest Strategy Discord server. He draws these green boxes. I'm sure you've seen his charts. He always does up his green boxes and his little predictions of where the price is going. And it played out perfectly. So his green box that he drew up, it's basically entered on the bottom left, finished on the upper right, and he started the next box. And what I like is that in the next 2 months, he's got it set to 170. So I think that what's going to happen is we're going to see Luna probably pretty easily get up around that sort of 135, probably be met with some sort of resistance there. Who knows? I'm not an oracle. I can't predict the future with entire certainty, but we can play a game here. But if we finish at 170 in 2 months' time, well, that's from where we were, just a month ago. That's nearly a 4x.
Right.
So for anyone that's holding Luna and has been holding Luna for anything sub, 50, sub 20, sub 30, the lower you get, the better it gets. But for anyone that's been holding Luna, you are probably celebrating at the moment, and rightly so. When did you get into Luna? What price were you in at?
Yeah, I'll answer that, but I did want to just say that one of our mods with Terra Invest Strategy, like his perspective is that everybody knows that Terra, LFG, though they're buying Bitcoin, right? So I think just that knowledge is what's pushing the whole market, and especially Luna, up, right? Because if you know that there's somebody with billions of dollars and they're telling you that they're going to be, buying, I think, uh, like with that perspective, connecting that to Lunaomics and his green boxes, like to me, it makes sense. There's so
Mhm.
much buying pressure right now that I'm contributing to that with my small pockets,
Certainly.
because that's my goal too, right? Stack up on Luna. But yeah, anyways, I got into Luna when it was around $5. I think it was like either June or July last year, so almost a year
Yes.
now.
That goes quick how that year has flown by.
Yeah, man, and it was interesting because I was in ETH, and I think I was just still kind of concern. Like ETH was so easy because I was on Coinbase, and then being able to take that to MetaMask, and then kind of doing things in that world. It didn't feel too like out of the loop. I wasn't too far from like a comfort zone. But then going into Terra, to me, that was still like, oh shit, this is crazy over here. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't even remember exactly how I bought Luna, but it wasn't that easy, right?
Mhm.
But anyways, that's how I started. And Danko, he helped me in Terabytes, just watching their videos and showing me different apps, Anchor and Mirror and the Delta Neutral strategy. Like all that was, to me, it got me thinking, because at that time I was trading a bunch of options and just trying to figure out the option game, selling spreads and buying spreads and things like that. So I was definitely curious about finance. And so then when I found out about Mirror, I was like, well, this makes sense. It's kind of like selling options, where you're just kind of sitting and just kind of letting the price do its thing and hoping that the more it stays in the middle, the better, right? If there's a lot of volatility, then that's what you don't want. That's when you lose. So,
Yeah.
anyways, that's how I got into it.
And the timing when you just mentioned Mirror, the timing when Mirror came out was perfect because not long before it, we'd had the whole GameStop fiasco and the Wall Street
Yeah.
bets thing had happened, and basically highlighted the disgusting nature of the manipulation of the markets that has been occurring for years, and the favoritism of the elites, and the complete pushing to the side of the wants, needs, desires of the everyday person who's just trying to get in on some investments. And it's like, hey, you don't get to do that. And it's like, well, what's the answer? Mirror's the answer. Rebel,
Yep.
you're back. How's your
You
internet
made
now,
it.
mate?
I don't know if it's going to hold on for too long, but yeah, back for now.
Yeah, you're green, so you're safe, at least on my view.
All right, awesome. Back in the game then.
We've
So
had a
yeah,
little
you were just talking
segue
about
into
how
Luna
Edwin
prices.
found Luna.
Yes.
Nice.
So we just had Luna hit all-time highs, and I said to Edwin, what price did you get in at? And he said around $5 there. What about you, Reb? When did you get in?
Yeah, same. It was after the May crash, I started buying. I mean, I'd been using Mirror before that, and
Yes.
had a bit saving on Anchor, just for like the 20%. But I just didn't understand Luna at all.
Yes.
Like I could sort of understand. I in a sense, I understood Mirror as a farm token because I was essentially farming, and it was like back then it was decent farming. So I was like, okay, I can get this Mirror thing, I can sell it, and then go and buy something else.
The best.
But yeah, bit dumb. But and what I should have been doing was like buying Luna with it, but I didn't get it. But then after the crash, a YouTuber that I followed, a guy called Intrepid Gains. He does real sort of deep technical videos, not technical analysis, but like fundamental analysis on various projects. And he was just saying, yeah, now's a good time to buy a little bit of this. So I thought, okay, I'll get a little bit. And stupidly, I should have got a lot of it.
A lot. Yeah.
I should if you could just gone all in, then would have been perfect, but I didn't. And then actually, I saw a video by the Defiant around about the same time that were basically just talking about looping. And again, I didn't really understand what was happening, but essentially, it did help me get a decent amount more Luna. And then that kind of took off. So I was like, oh, wow, okay. Kind of done quite well out of that deal.
Hindsight's always 2020 though. Like everyone's got that
Yeah.
same story. If I had have known, I would have bought more. But it's like you don't know, and unfortunately, that's just the reality of the situation. And also, many people that say that they would buy more. For example, we just had that. We were sitting around the mid 40s the other week. Many people, like now that we're in the triple figures, most people now would be like, "Oh yeah, I would have bought heaps if I was around at that time." So I know you wouldn't. There's so much
Yeah.
uncertainty and fear in the markets, and so everyone's sort of umming and ahhing about which way it's going to go. It's very unlikely, and this is why there's more people that stay, broke than people that become incredibly wealthy, because the people that become incredibly wealthy are the ones that are game enough to make the decisions in those times where there's absolute blood on the streets to be like, you know what, I'm acquiring now while everyone's saying it's a terrible idea. So anyway, yeah,
that's a fair point.
Totally. But what do you say we keep sort of ticking through some of the things been happening on Terra this week?
Well, listen, on that note, actually, about if you'd done this and if you'd done that,
Oh, yeah, go for it.
one thing that I'm kind of thinking about is because we've got so much stuff that's been built on Terra now, so many different DeFi options, so many different NFT options. I'm beginning to start struggling to stay on top of everything that's going on. So, excuse me a moment. Excuse me. So what I've decided to do is just go back to basics. There's a few different protocols I like, and I want to stick with them. I mean, there's other ones that I think are probably great as well, but I just don't know them enough to sort of dive deep. So for example, like I like Prism. I've always liked Prism since I sort of first started learning about it. But for whatever reason, I've not really focused on putting like my eggs into the Prism basket. I've been thinking, oh, I should maybe try a bit of that or a bit of that. But I think the rewards on Prism are worth sticking with. It is really sticky, and we were talking about this a bit earlier. Like if we get our rewards, and yeah, fair enough, you can cash in some rewards. But if you keep your rewards, convert that into X Prism, boost it in the AMPS vault, you're going to start earning more and more. And then what happens, like if Prism, some of these tokens, like Astro's gone nuts recently. Mars is kind of popping off. Apollo as well. Like what happens when it's Prism's turn to pop off? Like $2-3, and if you've just been like earning and earning, or I say you, I mean I. If I've just been earning these tokens, then in UST terms, that's really going to sort of push on in value. And another one as well, Apollo. Like it seems kind of simple, just these vaults, but I mean they're building like tons of like DAO tooling as well. But the vaults are great. You can just like leave your money in an LP, and it just sits there. Especially if your stock goes up as well, then if the LP APY is only like 30% or whatever, but if your stock doubles in price, then that is like a serious game. And like they've got, Apollo DAO has tons of Astro tokens, so an investment in Apollo, or using the platform, but like actually having the Apollo tokens themselves is a proxy vote or proxy like investment in Astro. So I think that's quite a nice way to do it. So that's kind of where my head is at. I'm thinking, right, I've missed out on that Astro pump. I'm going to just go Apollo UST.
Yeah, just keep ticking away. Apollo get a lot of things right. The team are they really consider things well in advance, and that ownership of massive amounts of Astro was great foresight, because obviously we got the Astro Wars that are going to be coming up soon. I don't know if you guys caught the latest video, or one of the latest videos from Dunku, where he's talking about like basically explaining that and comparing it to the Curve Wars. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
that's
a good one.
It's a great, Edwin, definitely check it out. It's one of my favorite Dunku videos yet. But basically he just goes through this whole sequence of why you'd want to have Astro, why you'd want to stake Astro for X Astro, and essentially what's going to happen as VX Astro becomes a thing in the future, and just the way that it's going to the earning potential of it. And then of course the appreciation of price of the underlying asset being Astro itself. And so we've seen Astro go from, I think, it's closer to $4 now, last time I had a look. And it's like, it's a DEX token. It's going to, you look at SushiSwap, 1inch, PancakeSwap, Uniswap, all the DEXs that did well last year, that like the token price went And I think it's very possible that the same thing happens with Astro. And so this is one of those moments where I'm like, damn, I wish I held more. And I've got some, but I'm like, damn it, why did I? What? And it's just like, what do you do? You know? But stock Apollo, stock some Astro. Terra alts are going to kick off big time. I think this is the theory I have. I think that over the next 2 weeks, we might see a little run of shit coins, meme coins, as in like your Flokis, your Doges, your Shiba Inus, just because it's approaching 420. We understand that 420 is National Day. And, for whatever reason, people in that scene seem to get around dog coins. And so when one goes, the rest follow. The spikes are very quick, but I think there'll be probably a week window then. I'm already seeing SHIB starting to trend. So I think there'll be a week or so there where if you're holding, I've got a whole bag of Floki that I bought on a whim last year. So I'm hoping that has a little pump. But then I think once that's over, we've got actual like good things happening fundamentally with, like, as you're saying, all the Bitcoin purchases from LFG, that's helping drive the price up, etc. But once Bitcoin starts pumping, and then as we get closer to the ETH2 transition, I think July, August, that's set to take place, where ETH properly becomes deflationary because the issuance is outweighed by the burn rate. I think ETH starts pumping, and by mid-year, Bitcoin, ETH, they'll get the market moving again. In the meantime, we've got Bitcoin, Luna, and Rune just making moves regardless of what the market's doing. So I think this year is going to be not a parabolic like race to the top type thing. I think it's going to be a nice, consistent grind up, and people are going to be caught off guard big time, particularly with Terra alt season, which looks like it's already underway. Keen to hear your thoughts, boys, lads.
So, on my end, I think to your point, Rebel, like there was a point, a few months ago where I felt like I knew the whole landscape of Terra. I knew DeFi projects, I knew NFT projects, and I could be part of the communities. But now it's overwhelming if you try to keep up with everything. So it is getting to the point where you have to almost specialize. Even if we are into NFT projects or into DeFi, we still need just like a handful that we like and can continue to just invest our time in there. But it is hard to just be part of everything, and that's been my thing. Like I've always just put money in everything just to try it out. I want to be part of the tech, right? I want to see how Astroport works, how Mars works, and I have all kinds of tokens for every project, right? But what has happened to me in the last like 2 months is I don't go back and I don't follow up on like what's new. So I have my wallet connected and I have money and everything, but I don't know what's going on. With Prism, I've kept up a little bit. Like I go and I show up and I do my amping, so I'm still on that Prism farm. But yeah, so and it's the same thing with NFT projects, right? Like there's a bunch of new projects coming in, and so it's hard to be a part of one project and be engaged in their community and participate in conversations there, because there's another one that's dropping tomorrow and another one next week. And so it's just all this jumping around. So it's crazy, but like in 3 to 6 months, like it's we're just going to continue to expand. And I think that's where I'm at, where like with like picking and choosing where we spend our time in, right?
And then we've got like the Terra investment strategy Discord, which is nice because there's a lot of smart people in there who are like quite tuned into some different projects. So you can basically just tap into their brain to sort of download all the alpha that they know. And I've learned a lot about Astroport from, is it Farmer?
Tahi or something.
Quite a tricky name to pronounce, but yeah, because he's like deep in the Astroport Discord as well. So that's very educational.
Completely.
I was not even hanging out in the Discord for ages, and then you, Rebel, you were like, you should be in there because there's some awesome stuff. And then I was scrolling through, I'm like, oh man, there's so much good stuff in here. Even the guys talking about like Aperture, which is coming. Oh, has it gone live, or it's just about to go live?
I think it did go live. I think you need some kind of private code to be able to use it, though.
Yes. So I've had a little look at it. I've had a little play with it. That's still on testnet, but it's cool. Delta Neutral Strategies. That's really cool.
Mhm.
We've had Subira go live. We've had Cash go live, which I think Cash is a big one. So Subira, awesome. I'm glad that these guys, we had a chat with them, a month or so ago. They're obviously doing the subscription payments. So I'm hoping that they, get some traction and get some people using it soon. I'd like to see a bit more visibility around that type of news, because that one was kind of, that one caught me off guard. That wasn't really on my radar. But Cash, we're interviewing them next week, and they've now launched. They're live in 49 states in the US, and just with the exception of New York at the moment. And so that allows, people from 11,000 banks to basically have their USD converted to UST and have them getting exposure to, they don't get the full 18, 19%. I think they get like 10% or something, but they're now able to basically utilize our ecosystem, the Terra ecosystem, without having to really know what they're doing. And they can, it's fully made for noobs. They can sign up with Gmail, they can sign up with Facebook. So it's all full KYC and stuff. But the point is, it's like, I think that's a win. With you're in the States, Edwin. You're in the States, yeah?
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like,
in California.
boom, you got what, 300 million plus people over there. It's like, get a fraction of people using it, and it's like, okay, cool, let's drive some demand up for UST, and then let's see that Luna price follow. So
Right.
I'm just really pumped with what's being shipped at the moment. I feel like there was this middle incubation period, this sort of simmering, bubbling under the surface, and now all of a sudden, all these projects are starting to ship right in time for TerraDApp Expo in a couple of months, where of course they'll be dropping alpha and all that. But I think this year is going to be big for Terra.
Yeah, looking forward to that TerraDApp Expo. I think we've now hit 50. We've hit the limit now, 50 dApps.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yes.
that's insane.
that's right. And we got a wait list already because, well, after we dropped that video, we got a big push from projects wanting to join.
Yeah.
And there's some more videos on the way too. And we've got, fortunately, AT&T Hotel and Conference Center. They've been really good to work with, and they're getting some flexibility in place. So we might be, we might be getting a couple of extra spots there if we can make that swing with AT&T. But so many moving parts to this. I don't think people understand how many tentacles we have going out at the moment for logistics, for all the fun and entertainment that's happening at the event. It's not just, you're not just going to walk around and be like looking at random stalls. There's actually some really cool things taking place in the Luna Lounge, the after parties, the NFT museum. Oh my goodness, you might even find some love there with the speed dating. Who knows? But we've definitely got our work cut out for us in the next 8 weeks, which is amazing. Because it gives us a chance to really be tested, be battle tested. And if we pull this off, which I'm confident that we will do, what does that do? It builds confidence in the OC brand, obviously. So, the OC brand, that just rolled off the tongue so quickly that I didn't even realize what I was saying. But yeah, if we can get to the country, that's the main thing. Rebel.
Yeah.
Us two being outside of the States
more closely.
So we'll do some recon in the meantime. But
100%.
I'm curious to know as well if you guys are aware of, well, actually you are, because you were the ones who told me just before. I'm just looking at my notes here. The ET rebrand, Extraterrestrial, becomes Terrascope. What do you know about that?
It's turned purple. Looks pretty cool.
I liked it. It seems more, I don't know, user friendly. I feel like in the past, I don't know, it just wasn't as cool to look at. For me now, it kind of reminds me of like an Apple product.
Yeah, it's way cleaner. I'm scrolling through it right now. Extraterrestrial, like obviously it's a blockchain explorer, and typically blockchain explorers, for the most part, haven't been overly easy to decode or decipher if you're not familiar with them or somewhat tech savvy. This, like, it would be much more accessible for a total noob.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What
did he say it was called? Lunarscope?
Terrascope. Yeah. I like they've got this separation. So obviously you can look up the accounts, the contracts, the projects, the validators. I love the dashboard, how they've got the all the icons listed out, how they've got the price movements over the past day, 7 days, etc. This is just a great little dashboard.
Yeah, completely. No, I think they did a great job, man. I'm gonna just share the screens just in case anybody hasn't seen it.
Yeah, do that. Let's show the people. Let's bring the people the good news.
But there it is.
I'm gonna try and make it bigger on my screen. Yeah, this is
So-
going to be my go-to, I think, rather than using even like TerraFinder. I don't mind TerraFinder, but this looks really tidy, and I like this. I like this layout here, the Terra ecosystem, the validators. We're creeping up, boys. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh
I just
yeah,
took a
we
look ago.
are. I think we're at
30.
69 voting power the other day. We're at 70 now.
0.7 now. It's just a
Number
nice
38.
dashboard when you go to the orbital command thing there.
Oh yeah. Look at us
We've
all
got some
geeking
whales
out over it.
delegating. Yeah,
Oh,
we've got
yeah.
some big delegations.
Very cool. Well, hopefully.
But yeah, so great job with Terrascope rebranding.
Yes, yeah, they've done really well. And I think you were saying something. Was there someone behind that who was paying for that before, Rebel, or who set that up?
Oh, so no, I was just sharing that GT Capital, they're also a community validator, right? And so
Right.
they help pay for 50% of the hosting fees for Terrascope.
Ah,
Just-
okay, gotcha. So they're assisting with the
Yeah, just in case anybody didn't know that, but yeah, GT Capital just helps support Terrascope now.
It's so hard to keep track of everything that's happening. It really is. And we're doing this, we're all full time now. Congratulations to Rebel, by the way, who's recently just gone full time as of a few days ago. How's the freedom? How's it feel?
Well, it's not hit me yet. This is like this is school holidays, so even if I was still working, I'd be on holiday. So I think it will sort of come in the next couple of, not next Monday, the Monday after, when I'm supposed to go back to work and I don't go back to work. That'll be the day.
So you'll feel
really
like a
feel it.
truant.
You better believe it.
Feel-
Yeah.
Feel like you're wagging school.
There's a nice Aussie word, wagging school. We'd say skiving.
Skiving. Yeah, I bet you
Yeah.
did a bit of skiving back in the day.
Back in the day, sometimes you had to get down the arcade. So yeah,
We say ditching.
ditching,
Oh, yeah?
ducking.
Yeah, got to ditch school, got to skive it, got to wag. Had a little bit of a wag back in the day. But, you know what? The teacher said that, you wag school, you're not going to make it. Well, guess what? We're all making it. Where are they? Teaching. What do we want to cover? I'm just looking at the time here. We're 33 minutes in. We've had an interesting conversation today with some dropouts in the internet and whatnot. We've still managed to keep it going. I'm curious to know if there's anything that you guys want to touch on before we kind of work towards wrapping this up.
You want to go, Edwin, or shall I jump in?
Go for it.
All right. So we I love DAOs. I love DAOs. I was talking about Apollo a little bit earlier. Love it. I mean, the size of the Apollo war chest at the moment is absolutely obscene. Like millions, 15 million or something. And I mean, that's crazy since they've only been going for 4 months. It's just absolutely amazing. But the DAO that I'm kind of getting more involved with at the moment is the Galactic DAO. So we've just recently had these elections for like different nebulas. So there's they've got a marketing nebula, an NFT nebula, an education nebula, and also the finance nebula. And I was fortunate. I put myself forward for the finance nebula, and there was enough punks that decided to get behind me and put me into that one. So
Yes, sir. Let's go.
thank you to all the punks that voted for me. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully we can use these Galactic DAO funds and start investing them in a smart and sustainable way. We're all going to make it.
That's
We
awesome,
are all
man.
going to make it. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Hell yeah.
I think I believe I might have even jumped in and then chucked in a vote for you there. So
Thank you, sir. Yeah, there was a few. So no, I really do appreciate that, because like I was almost reluctant to do it because it is sort of putting yourself out there a little bit. You're like, oh, what? I don't want to sort of do it and then not get elected or whatever. So it was
Yes.
it was a nice vote of confidence. And anyway, yeah, so it kind of gives me a warm feeling inside. So thank you all for that.
Oh yeah, and you were saying as well. Speaking of DAOs, you were saying something before about just this is completely new. Like it's not like something we've discussed, but you were saying you're hoping that eventually we can set up a DAO within the Discord, Terra Investment Strategy Discord, and we'd have essentially a syndicate investment channel.
That's I think an investment DAO would be pretty epic. I'm on
board with that. I'm on board with that. And so I think that if anyone's watching this and they think that, because think about it, we've got some amazing minds within the channel. Obviously, we've got like guys like Luna Omex, and we've got some other people in the background who maybe don't want themselves super known, but they're big brain people who are often putting forward great strategies. So it's like there's this group of people who are working as a collective who can, we can work together to take an investment, take a basket of investments, and grow them over time. And so I would actually be really on board with that. I think we should look further into that and maybe get some responses from people. Shoot us a message. Should jump in the Discord. Let us know if you think it's a vibe. Obviously, we are very busy with getting all TDX stuff, Texas stuff done at the moment, but I think that's probably an inevitability. That's really hard to say. In the near future.
Yes, sir. On my end, I'll just finish off my thing that I got going on. So with One Planet, we are starting to work closer with NFT projects that are coming into the secondary marketplace, right? So for us, there's two ways that projects interact with us: our Launchpad and then the secondary marketplace. And so we started working with the Luna Bulls. They're now on our marketplace, and they just released their Toxic Tesseracts. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's interesting because now your Luna Bull is going to be able to change and morph into something else. But anyways, for me, the interesting part has been seeing their sub communities grow, right? And then being able to connect through specific traits. And Iced Out Bulls, obviously one of the biggest ones, but they have a bunch of other ones. And so we're putting together AMA with the sub communities from the Luna Bulls. And so that's going to be coming up this weekend. So yeah, anyways, I've just been super curious about that for a long time. And so I'm going to bring them in and just kind of see how they started, and what's going on now. Like, how do they run their DAO? Like, the Iced Out Bulls actually have a treasury and they own a bunch of NFTs, right? And then just kind of what their roadmap is, what their vision is for their own little communities.
Awesome, dude. This is I'm so pumped for this entire space. Like, honestly, I can't convey that into words. And it's early morning where I am, so I'm still sort of in the process of waking up. But believe me, beneath this veneer, this facade, I am absolutely brimming with joy. Just real quickly on the topic of NFTs, Galactic Punks 60 floor. Don't know if you've seen that.
Crazy.
And who's holding all the punks here?
Mr. Rebel.
That guy.
One or two. Well, there's some guys that have got a lot of punks. Now, this is one thing that I put a tweet out about this months ago.
Yeah.
Months ago. I was like saying, like, what if every like community validator started picking up some punks, even just one punk? And I think some of them do. But I mean, it would be nice potentially to have some NFTs in the OC treasury. I know we've got them individually, but the treasury might be quite cool as well.
So we didn't end up getting one, did we? Because I remember that conversation. I don't think we ended up getting one.
I don't think so.
What were we thinking?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What were we thinking? Yeah, GPs are going to make it 100%. I think, and compare them too at the moment. What was the ratios like at the moment? 60 Luna is equivalent to like 2.5 ETH or something. And then you consider that BAYCs are selling for whatever, 90 ETH or something ridiculous. And it's like, wow, that could be us. What if? So maybe it's not too late. It probably isn't too late. I think the floor, honestly, I think the floor of GPs will probably be like 100 easily in the not that distance. Because Terra's we are still underrated, man. Look at the social metrics. Sephi's always posting about this sort of stuff. He take Lunar Crush snapshots and show what's going on, and it's like we're not even getting. We're getting smart money still flowing in. We're not getting, overhyped retail buyers. So I think
So
it's
come on,
like
where do you see that GP floor at, say, end of year?
I think it's easily 100 by the end of the year. Anyway, I'm not Jim Cramer. I'm not anyone who's making. I wouldn't want to be Jim Cramer, but you know what I mean. Everyone can speculate. I think if the market's going well and if it's doing what I think it might do, with all the stuff I said before about Ethereum's ETH2 and all that, yada yada yada, I think that we could see something, a staple of Terra NFTs like GPs be 100. So, which is good because I bought my first GP for like 114, a more rare one a while back, and so I'd like to at least, if the floor goes to 100, well then hopefully the floor of the price of that one goes up fairly significantly. So that would be nice. We'll see.
Cool.
All right.
All right, lads. Good chat. Sorry about the internet.
No worries.
That's all good. All right, lads. That was a good one. Lads.